Greetings, defenders of the Ark. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens. Episode 13, Valiant and Sorrowful. As you can see above my head, we are going to continue building the recreation room. So once it is fully slated up, I intend to have a slightly larger table for everyone to sit at. The only worry that I have is we don't necessarily have a easy way to heat the area because we don't have a source of steel, which actually brings me to a YouTube. There was many YouTube comments about this, which was about building extra batteries. So at the moment, I have a finite amount of components and steel. So I have to be very judicious about how I use components and steel. And we don't have battery research. So yes, it is entirely possible to build batteries to be able to offset grow lights, where the batteries recharge at night and discharge during the day. But without more steel, it's a really, really poor investment because I am not getting more steel. You know, not without considerable effort. Opfer and Roloff and Glitch and Radlocker, thank you for the cheers and the gifted subs. Cheers, cheers. Ooh, a Psychic Soothe. I'll take that. There's some other things I have changed since last stream. So one of the things I did was I decided that the leader of our community will be Axios as a result of him being the leader of the majority party. So the leader, we may have elections, but the leader at the moment is the pilgrim leader because there are 3 pilgrims and 2 stalwarts. I've also fixed the mod that changed moods. So now political moods, like I am politically encouraged or I am politically downtrodden, is working. Thanks to Cathanon, because I screwed that one up myself. Alright, looks to me like we are really low on simple meals. And we're still just building the recreation room, but I think first we are trying to manage some of the repairs, because we've been under constant attack, so... It is towards the end of summer, but because of the volcanic winter that swept in, things are still very cold. I'm removing the corpse zones for everyone but Axios. He doesn't mind them, and put him on Axios' zone. Thomas Ross, wow. That is a lot of gifted subs. Cheers. I'm so glad you all like this series. I mean, it was a bit of experimental with the way things are voted on and how they work. And I'm glad it's been received well. So let's get some simple meals up. We had, so one of the reasons we had a bit of a food shortage is we had pod drop raiders breach in from the ceiling. And as a result of that, they ended up causing a frost to hit and killed off most of our crop. Plus, we've had a few blights, quite a few blights, and yeah, that has been slightly tough to deal with as well. So the colonists right now are restricted to the close zone. So given that, everything within the close zone that can be hauled, I'll set up to be hauled. You gotta keep your favorite streamer in coffee? Well, I appreciate it. I mean, ultimately, you guys really, you pay the bills. I'm not disillusioned about that. Without you guys, I am very quickly kind of out of work. Need to go back into the more of a standard job, let's say. So one of the big things we've been doing is deep drilling or rather ground pen scanning to potentially deep drill. So that has been something we've been trying to get pushed along. Now, as part of the scenario, our deep drilling and research speed is terrible, right? Deep drilling is a third and research speed is a third. So it takes a lot longer to do these things. And I did that as a balancing mechanic. And you'll see why as time goes on. Cheers. So I don't have too much more slate tiles to do, and then we'll manage to do the table. And subsequently, we'll have an opportunity to vote for another project to work towards. I think I'm also going to preferentially try to remove any of the cover from this area so that ingressing enemies don't take cover behind stones, rocks, slag, etc. Is there a way or place to see all the Arc upgrades? Not from within the game, no. You would have to go to like the mods testing website, I think. And I wouldn't show you anyway, because it would be massive spoilers. Like, if you want to be surprised by the progression of the series, it's probably best you don't look that stuff up, to be blunt. It's not to say that I won't make fundamental changes myself. I mean, that's entirely possible and plausible within the scope of this series. I'm not saying I have or haven't, just saying that just because the mod is set up a certain way, I modify mods pretty much on the regular to suit my needs. So one might assume that this will be no different. So it looks like, given our added Woodfire Arc that we installed last stream, we are producing plenty of power. And I don't really, at least as far as we have wood, I don't have to worry about powering anything down at night. So I've been keeping it all powered up. Nobla's almost fully recovered from the last battle. And we are not too far away from having a fully tiled up recreation room. Could you burn corpses? I do it all the time. Oh, I also wanted to introduce one more screen. So before I go any further, here is the session's records. And we've had 9 significant sessions so far. And as you can see, the Pilgrims have been winning or winning compromises in most, except for the first. Some of the sessions aren't of political consequence. So construction, voting, or opening up to refugees, etc. This screen is not yet available for you guys to have access to. I just didn't have the time to set it up so that you can get access to it through commands. But I will be tracking changes over time going forward so that you have a better idea of the history of the arc, allowing you to, look back while voting moving forward. Starting to look a bit one-sided? Yeah, well, one might think that really early on, the community has to be extraordinarily pragmatic rather than idealistic. And that might make sense for why the Pilgrims have been winning significant voting. And maybe as life gets a little easier, we will have less of a need to adapt, and maybe stalwart proposals will be more attractive. Just a thought. I probably don't... Why is that on? There we go. Guess it could be on. It doesn't really hurt. but we don't need it. So, today is the final day of summer, and Axios here has managed to harvest the cotton finally. And this is so that we can have replacement clothing, because our clothing is getting quite tattered, having been shot, stabbed, bashed, etc. For now, I'm going to replace it with rice, in worry that we really don't want food shortages. I have a lot of packaged survival meals, but not quite enough packaged survival meals that I think it's fine to ignore the fact that we need that. Now, one thing I wanted to do is I'm going to get all of the pilgrims sequestered inside the heated room to drop their hypothermia. And then I intend to go strip the siege site in the northwest for materials. But I wanted to do this caravan style so that we can ensure that we do it efficiently. So Fishpick and Axios will go. I mean, Progadog and Axios will go. I'll leave Fishpick behind. I like how I do find it interesting that they chose two entirely different doors to exit from. And we do now have a fully tiled up recreation room. Of course, it is not yet heated, and I don't think it's going to be heated for a while, as a result of it just simply being too cold and too uncomfortable. And then once we have the slate table built, I'll move some of the chairs over and add some additional chairs, so that everyone has a seat at the table, so to speak. Oh, I don't think we're going right now. We have got breachers coming in. Alright, I'm having everyone cancel what they were doing and head back inside to heat up, and then do a quick gear swap, because Axios should probably have the assault rifle, not Nabla. Okay, it doesn't actually look like they are all that hypothermic, so I think what I'll do is I'll have them move towards the danger and swap their weapons outside. So they are coming with frag grenades. That's probably of the greatest concern. Alright, they are basically already here. And there is 2 sets of frag grenades and some Molotovs, which are a little bit less of a threat, as we don't really have flammable anything. Rogadog is getting slammed. Fishpick is going to move in to intervene. Standing out in the open like this is rough. And we really want to take down their grenadier more than anyone else. Alright, their grenadier is downed. I'm going to fall back. Most of their breaching power has been negated. Fishpick might have to be the one to patch up Progadog, because we don't really have the means. Oh, you know what? If they're running in, that might not be the case. Alright, Nobla's gonna dip to cover as well. Axios just got shot to the heart and torso. We are getting shredded here. And it's because they have pretty much the same cover we do. Right? Like, we don't have a real cover advantage here. Now, the tendings that we're offering to our defenders is pretty lackluster, but there's not really a good solution for that. Okay, another one of the pirates are downed. What we could try to do is shoot the ones that have less cover. So let's take a look. 12%. 27%. I'll have them pick their own targets. And more are coming into the hallway. Axios has helped stem some of the bleeding. I mean, Fishpick, but Axios is going to attempt to tend himself. Okay, good. That one's downed. Another one is coming through. Fishpick took it down. They are trying to shoot breach, which is really not an effective way to get into a base, because I took down their grenadiers. One of the doors have been taken off. Lambert, are you coming in? Okay, they are pivoting and moving, which gives me a bit of a easier shot advantage. Fishpick is going to run into the recreation room so that I can effect repairs to prevent destruction of any specific buildings. And I'm having my people skilled in Mezzin do self-tending. Zeusin's moving up to a door. For cover. Axios has recovered enough that he's back into the fight. He just needs to avoid getting shot in the torso again. And Nobla has died. Nobla had her head shot off. Just a bad chance. Cannot be avoided. They are fleeing, but not after having dealt a terrible blow to our defenders. The one that killed Nobla was Ender. And Ender is out here, high on go juice and trying to skip away. Alright, the door is being closed behind them. Axios does not intend to take prisoners. now we have a funeral. A stalwart funeral opportunity. And my faction's primary ideology has changed from stalwarts to pilgrims. This happened because pilgrims are now more common. And Zeusin no longer has any roles either, as well. One of the things that we are immediately going to build is going to be a sarcophagus for the fallen. Keeping it somewhere that is frigid might be the wisest choice. So for now, I am going to stop the construction of the slate table so we can save up for a slate sarcophagus. For now, Nabla will be kept in the ground pen room until a better spot can be made for her. Zeusin is going to spend some time cleaning up after that fateful raid. And repairs to be made to the damaged structures of the base. The wood-fired arc no longer has fuel. So as a result, it is not producing the kind of wattage that we were getting out of it from before. Axios is trying to work through the backlog of corpses. And soon we'll have enough slate for a sarcophagus for a proper burial. Our survivors are getting pretty cold out here, which is going to be a bit of an issue trying to do scanning going forward. Fishpick is going to put his fiancée to rest. And they intend to hold a funeral. Actually, I don't even see a funeral opportunity. The sarcophagus bears an image of Nabla Sandoval, crouching next to a fire and shivering uncontrollably. Several dying badgers lay on the ground. This depiction relates to Nabla getting hypothermia, the 13th of winter of last year. There's still quite a few corpses left to be hauled. And that task is going to fall on Axios' shoulders. There is a very understandable break risk for Fishpick. And he's being offered ambrosia and beer to help cope. We have found underground plasteel to the east. An incredibly durable material, but not one that we critically need at the moment. Taking a look at our power usage, it might be required to turn off some of the hydro basins to compensate for the loss of wood fuel for the generator. Our power dropped to in the 60s. We'll have to keep an eye on that. The recreation room is still underway. Getting closer to being complete. But because it's unheated, it will be difficult to use in the winter, which is just 13 days away. So we've recovered from our wounds, or at least our physical ones, but not yet the psychological ones. With the recreation room just about finished, there's a few choices for construction priority coming up. So here we are. What to work on next after the recreation room is complete. We can start construction on a dedicated workshop, improve the defenses of the Ark, lay the groundwork for a shared barracks, or viewer suggestions. Now, as far as defenses go, we don't yet have gun turrets. That's fairly down the research tree, as you can see. And as a result, we are not going to be able to easily improve our defenses in that way. There was previously a proposed project to use traps, stonework traps, in order to thwart attackers. And that's probably far more affordable for our survivors. And it seems like that is going to be the next task. So that wins by a fair margin. Now, in the case of the raid that we just had, which was a breach raid, traps like that wouldn't really do very much, understandably. Oh, speaking of raids, we have got the Godless coming in from the west. We have still barely recovered from the last raid. Most of their weapons are short-range weapons, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy to defend. You may have also noticed that Nabla was buried with her rifle. The rule of like no corpse looting applies to both friend and foe. So the main gate is open still, and if they're coming this direction, I'm going to muster in here. And I'm going to have Fishpick move the heater to provide heat for the defenders in this spot instead. So the one that we really need to take down is going to be the one with frag grenades. The Tomboy. They pose the most threat, I think. And I'm getting them ready to deal with closing the door. So I think what I'm going to have Fishpick do is quickly try to open the rear door. And then close the front door, forcing them to swap attack spots. Okay, the one that still needs to die, Tomboy, hasn't been taken down yet. And we're pretty bloodied, and then he's getting awfully close. We're evacuating that area. So you can throw his grenades, but there won't be much to throw at. We're very bloodied already. But now we're forcing them to attack the far side of the base, having closed the main door. So everyone that is wounded will have, you know, we can regroup. Okay, here comes one. Fish pick is ready. And Pierogadog is getting ready to ambush. I don't think I'm going to be able to use everyone for defense. As they're honestly just too wounded. Fishpick is making pretty quick work of all the shooters. And he's down them all. They are now fleeing. Alright, we are having a bit of a brownout. Did say I feared that would happen. There's not much to do about it, other than to let it brown out and then have certain things go off. We do now have, as long as the grow light is off, we will have a chance to refill our batteries, though. So I'm going to intentionally turn off the grow light so that our batteries can refill. Alright, let's do, even though it will get the area bloody, do our medicine inside. So I'm going to schedule everyone into warm. Force a high bed rest, and have them tend one another. The other thing about the warm zone is it should include this table at the very least, so that we don't... I'm not going to treat it as a gathering spot. Oh, hypothermia. But, we should at least be able to eat there. And Fishpick is in a daze. Zeusin is downed. Yeah, no one's really able to walk right now. So in terms of bleed outs, Pierogi is going to have to do the medicine. There's really no one else capable at the moment. Cadet, thank you for the gifted subs. And welcome. I see that you're quite confused in the chat, so I'm glad that chat is sorting that out. So game's telling me I need a doctor, but I'm just doing tending. Now, the worry that I have here is Fishpick being in a daze means that Pierogadog is the only one that can tend himself, so he's going to have to patch his own wounds over Zeusin's, but Zeusin's no longer actively bleeding, so there's less of a threat there. Oh, and Zeusin is up now. Alright, Pierogadog is in the clear, mostly, although Zeusin did collapse due to the combination of hypothermia and blood loss, which is a dangerous combo. I'm going to keep the... I wish the heater was off, but I'm going to keep the wood-fired... or rather the grow light off for a bit longer, as I'd rather have the power. And we have just about everyone trying to recuperate. I think Zeusin is out of the clear for collapsing. And Axios is on his feet again as well. Trying to get rid of some of that malnourishment. There's not much we could do in the case of Fishpick. Luckily, he's just not bleeding fast enough for it to be an immediate critical concern. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, which originally streamed live on Twitch February 2nd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow members of the Ark.